It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey, Ernie Johnson here, and I'm joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. And on tap tonight, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's a look at our setting tonight. The picturesque city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Welcome and happy holidays from 2K Sports. It's time for NBA action. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. From the sideline, our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. Last outing for Minnesota, they won that game against Denver. And just one look at the score tells you all you need to know. They were dominant in just about every area. And David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Giannis Antetokounmpo came to the NBA as an unheralded 19-year-old from Greece. He's been a quick study at the NBA level. One reason? He actually takes notes. He said, we all make mistakes and your mind can't remember them all. I write what I did wrong and what worked. I'm going to keep it going. Someday, I'll have a collection. That dedication, Kevin, the sky is the limit for the Greek freak.
Boy, that's fascinating stuff, DA. Thank you so much. What better way to learn from your mistakes? There is no shortage of athleticism in this one tonight, Clark. Both these teams just incredibly athletic on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I agree with you there, partner. I mean, they cover so much ground, and they cover it quickly because of the length and speed they have as teams. I mean, excellent length on both sides of the ball in this one, and they play to their strengths, and that's length and athleticism.
And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle. Jimmy Butler is out there with Brooks. And it's Muhammad in at the 3 slot. And stolen by Butler. Lays it up and banks it in.
And Butler does a nice job using his body. I mean, especially when he's close to the basket, comfortable operating inside.
Here's Parker on target from 13 feet.
And scoring the ball comes easily and naturally to him. He's a versatile player at the offensive end.
And Towns gets it to go.
Tell you what, you got to give Butler credit. He's good at sensing when his guys are wide open, and he gets the ball to him right away.
Brogdon kicks to Parker. Back to Brogdon. Nice ball movement by Milwaukee. Here's Monroe. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Boy, it's a thing of beauty watching him attack the defense like that. I mean, they wanted no part of him on that layup.
Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
That one goes in. Monroe's got his second basket of the game.
Man, I love how intense Monroe is in the paint. If he has the ball close to the bucket, he's thinking about scoring every time, which is how you should think when you're inside.
Brooks the pass to Towns. And the dunk by Towns.
Yeah, just solid work on the back end of that play.
Yep, you're right. Finished hard with 2 hands on that stuff.
Yeah, highly efficient. Nothing extra special there. Just effective.
Here's Parker. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. Taj Gibson picks one up.
Boy, at 250 lbs, Parker loves doing work inside. And because of his aggressiveness, he gets to the line an awful lot.
He makes 1 of 2 that time. And Greg, when Jabari Parker is healthy, he has shown that he can be a go-to scorer in this league.
Parker reminds me a bit of how Carmelo Anthony looked at the same age. His ability to just blow by defenders is going to always be something he can lean on. Just fantastic with how efficient he is at this age.
And the dunk by Towns.
There's the great length we're always talking about with Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, leaving no doubt about that one.
Antetokounmpo against Muhammad. And he comes up with the deuce. Brogdon's got his first bucket of the night.
And early on, they look great. They've made all 4 of their shots to start this game.
A 3-ball. Muhammad, no luck. Bucks trail by 5. Brogdon with it. Guarded now by Aaron Brooks. Here's Middleton. Rebound, Minnesota.
Well, you know what? All good things must come to an end, and they finally miss after making their first 4.
And the dunk by Muhammad.
Yeah, I tell you what, Kevin, once Muhammad gets to the rim, that giant wingspan just really takes over.
Bucks have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Brooks against Brogdon. Feeds to Middleton for the 3. Another miss by Middleton. Timberwolves leading by 7. Butler dishes to Brooks. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Butler's got 4 assists in the game.
Aggressive coming out of the gate here, guys. Wow.
Tone setting, that's what I call it. Grabbing this one by the throat early on and then squeezing it hard.
And Milwaukee calls their first time out of the game. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
You know what? It's a fine line between attacking but yet staying under control. And they did, and that's why they shot such a high percentage.
Yeah, they pushed the pace, and typically you get high-quality shots when you do that. I thought they were terrific all game, Greg.
And here we can now take a look at how the ratio was between the 3s and the 2s last season for Milwaukee.
And I think they had the right idea. They didn't rely too much on the three-point shot or, for that matter, the inside game. They kind of altered their game plan depending on the opponent and really avoided being one-dimensional.
And slam dunk by Butler.
Methodical in their approach. They have absolutely owned this first quarter.
And I tell you what, Greg, they've worked hard for this lead. Their play calling has been superb, and the execution even better.
Brogdon with a screen for Parker. And they get it, and he hits the jumper for 2. Parker's got 5 now.
Boy, that's fantastic recognition by Parker off the screen. So good at getting wide open looks for himself by reading the defense.
Towns kicks to Muhammad. And no good, trying to use the glass.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Textbook defense all around. Nice job at contesting the shot without fouling, and that's how you do it. Well done.
Middleton with it. Butler covering. Antetokounmpo passes to Parker. And Monroe kicks to Parker. Over Gibson.
In building this lead, they've done a terrific job finishing the defensive sequences with the backboard. That has been key.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. Not one second chance bucket for the opposition. They're boxing out on every shot.
And already with the commanding lead, a terrific offensive performance.
Yeah, and the execution, time and time again, right on point. They're running their offense to perfection.
Brogdon kicks to Monroe. And a great assist by Brogdon as that one goes in. 6 points for Greg Monroe.
And really, it's been a major aspect of their offense in the early stages here. Their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range.
And the dunk by Towns.
Yeah, terrific scoring effort from Towns here tonight, Kevin. When he gets on a roll like this, very, very difficult to slow him down.
Bucks trail by 12. Now, Antetokounmpo, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. That one is on Towns. And let's get your take, guys, on the hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
They've made the commitment to get out and run, and it's paid off with some highlight reel plays in transition.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnover.
Jang, he's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. Here's Jang, and finished off by Jang.
Yeah, there, Kevin, finishing like he did it on purpose. Jang can get nasty at the point of attack.
Brogdon kicks to Antetokounmpo. Shoots over Muhammad. And off the front iron, and in it goes.
Boy, you take a look at Jason Kidd, and he's clearly one of those players that just has a mind for the game. Throughout his career, you saw how well he saw the court, felt the game, and how he created scoring chances for his teammates, and was also very heady at the defensive end. One of the very cerebral Hall of Fame players we've had in the history of the league.
And guys, that's his game. I mean, battling in the paint and cashing in on those second chance opportunities.
And Greg, cashing in hard. I mean, man, oh man, he puts an exclamation point on that dunk.
Yes.
Guys, that's the only way he knows how to do it. Soft, I don't even think is in his vocabulary.
Jang dishes to Gibson, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant, and this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
And with Kidd, he was one of those players that when he got into coaching, you just said, of course, it makes too much sense given how much of an on-the-court leader he was.
Yeah, and you know what? You're exactly right. I felt the same way about Kidd. And when you play with some players, you just get that feeling with how they approach the game. And even in your role as a broadcaster, mine too, we get to talk to players and we get a feeling of whether they'll coach or not. Even in college, you could tell he was a special player with kind of a unique view of the game as well.
Yeah, he's got to make some adjustments here. Just too easy to score in the lane against them right now.
Yeah, there's no reason why they should be scoring at will down there easily as they have. I mean, they've got to be more aggressive inside.
And the Bucks with some changes. Thon Maker's checked in for Monroe. Tony Snell comes in for Chris Middleton. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Brogdon. The Timberwolves also changing it up. Mahimi's checked in for Gibson. And Jones subbed in for Brooks. To the middle. And Maker with the basket on the assist from Dellavedova.
Man, it's so good to see how Dellavedova plays to his strengths, guys. I mean, specifically how he finds the open man. Nice.
And so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here.
Man, you love the effort. Just getting the hand in there and knocking it out.
Really came close to the pilfer, but they'll take that effort. Mucking things up is sometimes just as good as a steal.
Right side Jones. Back to Butler. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Jang the pass to Muhammad. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Mahimi.
And despite that miss, a strong start for them offensively.
Yeah, they're scoring with confidence, Greg, making them count in the early going here.
Well, the first thought from the D there was to protect the rim, so good idea to take the 3 in transition.
Kicks to Jang. He's looking for Mahimi and finds him. And Gorgie Jang is going to pick up a foul. That is his first foul of the game. Mirza Teletovic is checked in for the Bucks. Bucks trail by 9. Dellavedova with the ball. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. It's stolen by Jones. Drops in the breakaway layup.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Yeah, they're lasered in. I mean, really making the most of their possessions.
And that replay brought to us by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. One of the more exciting plays in basketball. Passes it to Teletovic. And a great assist by Antetokounmpo as that one goes in. Teletovic has got his first points of the night. And Jang kicks to Mahimi. And stolen by Teletovic. Dellavedova from outside. Here's Maker. His shot is good, making him a perfect 2 for 2 from the floor.
And you just hate to give up those second chance points.
Yeah, those are back crushers. I mean, they really crack your back when you give teams second shots like that.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
And those are the kind of sequences that tell you why the score is what it is.
Here's the foul. It's on Mahimi. That's his first foul. Milwaukee with the ball. They trail by 9 points. It's stolen by Jones.
Great reflexes to get a hand on that pass and go the other way with it.
In this first period, they've been aggressive and extremely focused.
Yeah, this is a big lead right now, a big one, and they've seized momentum and showing no signs of letting it go. Well, the problem last year for the Timberwolves was their defense, allowed way too many points in the paint. Fortunately, they've improved their defense down the stretch here.
Yeah, still moving a little bit when he set that screen. He'll argue that he was set, but I really didn't think so.
It was very close, and I wouldn't mind letting them play on that one. It wasn't blatant by any means.
Minnesota making a switch here. Crawford's checked in.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
I tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
And he recovers it. Pass to Snell. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Butler.
And with the chance, let's take a look now at the numbers for Jang. He's right around 17 points a night, 5 rebounds and 4 assists. And he brings that offensive firepower to the team. Scoring just comes naturally.
And, you know, defenses are throwing everything at him, yet he's still able to put up points. He's really unstoppable.
Just 2 to shoot.
And trailing here in the first, you'd like to see them be a little more aggressive on the offensive glass.
Yeah, I agree. Not a lot of activity chasing down their misses. Some teams focus on getting back. I understand that. But you should send at least one guy after those.
Timberwolves leading by 13. The kick outside to Butler. Pass to Jang. In the corner, it's Crawford. Dishes it to Mahinmi, and there's the feed to Jones. In the corner, it's Crawford. And it's Mahinmi finishing it off.
And a terrific percentage here in the first half. You gotta love their rhythm and the flow with which they're playing.
I agree with you. I mean, they just look comfortable out there, taking what the defense gives them and then capitalizing with no real problem at all.
Teletovic dishes to Antetokounmpo. Snell from outside, and a great assist by Antetokounmpo as that one goes in. Snell's got his second basket of the night. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Jones, the pass to Jang. Butler kicks to Mahinmi. He dishes it to Jang. Back to Mahinmi. 5 on the clock. Minnesota needs to get off a shot here. That's a 2 from Butler. And the shot falls short this time. Bucks trail by 12. Over in the corner, Dellavedova. They get it again.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
And out of bounds as the Bucks gain possession. Cole Aldrich. He's checked in for Ian Mahinmi. Milwaukee's gotten just 2 of 6 to fall from 3-point range so far in the first. They double him with Butler. Here's Snell. It's good. Only a few seconds into the shot clock. Snell's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
Dellavedova is really good at finding his teammates.
Jones dishes to Aldrich. In the corner, it's Crawford. Butler kicks to Jones. And there's the pass to Jang. Kicks it out to Crawford. Clock at 6. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Aldrich, the pass to Jang. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off his shot. 24-second violation. And the Bucks with possession. It's a 10-point game. This, their first chance to take a look at Minnesota this season.
In their meetings last year, they split the season series. Happens a fair amount between teams from the East and West.
And, you know, when you only see a team twice a year, Greg, it's hard to really get a good understanding of who they are or a good feel for them. And oftentimes, that can lead to a series split.
And a double-digit lead on the scoreboard as we end the first quarter of play. Minnesota on top, up by 10. And we'll get going after this from the BMO Harris Bradley Center. Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here. And so it's Milwaukee with it, trailing by 10. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Jones is out there with Crawford. Then there's Towns. Then there's Cole Aldrich. And it's Butler in at the small forward.
Boy, for such a young player, the razor-sharp focus of Antetokounmpo, really impressive. I mean, a muscular guy who still makes baskets despite getting hit in the process. He's not wide, but he is muscular.
Basket counts. 12 points for Jimmy Butler.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint.
And, you know, it doesn't matter how good your defense is on the perimeter if you're going to allow easy ones inside like that.
Here's Maker. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Dellavedova. Dellavedova's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Well, Thon Maker is a project player, Clark, for his team, taken 10th overall in the 2016 draft. Has great size, and he moves well, but it's going to be a few years before he gets to where he needs to be.
I agree with you, but with big guys, you can afford to be patient when you see that they have a work ethic and a commitment to getting better, are willing to learn and grow, and then you factor in his athleticism and size. I think it's a weight that's going to pay big dividends for the Bucks.
You know, we talk about it all the time, guys. Those second chance buckets, always the result of that extra effort.
And Butler knows he can get whatever shot he wants pretty much when he wants to. That's why he's one of the best scorers in the game.
Dellavedova kicks to Antetokounmpo. Over Crawford. Antetokounmpo can't get that one to fall.
I thought he had the space to shoot comfortably there, and disappointed that he missed it.
Here's Aldrich. Keeps it alive. And Cole Aldrich with the slam.
Yeah, such a strong frame. Aldrich completely unbothered by the contact.
And we're a little over a minute and a half into the second quarter of action. Outside, Antetokounmpo got a piece of it, and it's out of bounds. The Bucks able to retain possession here.
A moment here to see the stats for Butler. The past month has been surreal. 5th in steals, and he's in the top 10 in field goal percentage. Really able to power his way to the bucket and finish through contact.
And back to what you said, top 5 in steals this year. Quick hands and great anticipation. There's the dish to Snell. Shot clock at 5. Let's it fly from 18. Antetokounmpo can't get that one to fall.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That's what I call an everything but. Good execution, just didn't knock it down. But you're right, they're happy with that shot.
Dellavedova, the offensive rebound. Antetokounmpo dishes to Maker, and a great assist by Antetokounmpo as that one goes in. Antetokounmpo's got his 4th assist in this one. And it's out of bounds, last touch by Jones. And while there's a break, here's a collection of the shooting guards that have made an impact with their passing this season. The leading assist men among 2 guards. 3rd is Jimmy Butler.
And what that group has a great understanding of is the importance of ball movement. I mean, they can all create their own shot, but their superb ability to set up teammates really stands out.
Yeah, I think you've got to attribute it to the unselfish attitude that each of them has. I mean, sure, they're going to attack and make sure they get their points, but they get just as much satisfaction in racking up assists, too.
Monroe's checked in for Milwaukee. Chris Middleton comes in for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Timberwolves also with the sub. Brooks checked in for Tyus Jones. Shots good by Middleton.
Presence of mind, really important. You know, this game is more mental than physical. And Middleton is a guy who stays in the moment. He's exceptional at knocking down a good shot off a good pass.
And he just dangles from the bucket after sending that one through.
And you can see which team has the swagger right now.
But you know what? You don't want to do too much to get an opponent riled up. You got to be mindful of that.
Brooks with no one around. The three-pointer no good. Bucks trail by 8. Swiped away. And now Minnesota on the fast break. Crawford leading the charge.
Agile play to get his hand in there and get the steal. Intelligent play to immediately start the break.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee. One of the hardest things, Clark, to defend in the league is the pick and roll. What do defenders need to key on when they're defending a pick and roll?
Well, I think a couple of things. One is you want to try to dictate where the pick and roll is going to happen and where you want the ball handler to go. And then there's got to be great communication. The two guys involved in the screen and roll have to be on the same page. There's got to be a lot of talk. And then the three guys maybe not involved have to be ready to help their teammates. So communication, a real sense of trying to dictate to that ball handler where you want him to go and what you want to give up, because you can't take away everything when you're defending a good pick and roll combination.
Mark, we've seen the bench celebration become almost an art form in the NBA over the past few seasons. Are you surprised this is a thing now?
Not at all. Again, when everything is captured and documented, and you're going to have creativity and attention-grabbing celebration, so it's just part of the landscape.
And some changes here for the Bucks. Jabari Parker's checked in for Maker, and Brogdon subbed in for Matthew Dellavedova. And a change for the Timberwolves. Muhammad's checked in. Nobody near Parker. And a great assist by Brogdon as that one goes in.
Yeah, that's 2 straight 3-pointers they've allowed.
Brooks the pass to Towns. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. That one doesn't drop. Good work defensively by Monroe. And there's the call on Shabazz Muhammad. That is his first foul of the game. Brogdon kicks to Parker. Tipped away. And now Brooks running the floor all by himself. And the dunk by Towns.
And a good example there of why it's important to change ends quickly.
Vitally important. I mean, if you relax for a second, you're cooked. You're toast. They learned that lesson there.
Middleton the pass to Brogdon. Screened by Parker. Monroe with a screen on Crawford. Shots good by Middleton.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Time-dropping delights is what I call it.
Yeah, it's a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yeah, he was on the money, that's no doubt.
Oh, inflicting some punishment with the 2-hand flush.
They're going for the throat.
Now's the time to do it. Keep attacking that rim.
And another 3 for Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's too good a look to give them from behind the arc.
Minnesota leading by 6. Inside. Aldridge, no good.
Boy, the defense did an awesome job there, Kevin. Big-time work. Really distracting them, throwing off the shot. That's how you do it on D.
And there's the foul. It'll go on Aaron Brooks. That is his first foul of the game. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time. And a look here at the shot chart for Towns.
And this is what happens when you are having a tremendous offensive game. They are getting great looks and knocking down shots all over the floor. I don't think we're going to see them deviate from this approach from here on out. They've got the recipe for success.
To the inside. A shot's good from Aldridge.
Nicely done. They continue to attack inside, and that's 10 points in a row in the paint.
If you can't stop it, here it comes. I'm right at you.
Monroe. Knocked loose. Here's Parker. And Aldridge sends it back.
Well, we know this about Aldridge, Kevin. I mean, a plus shot blocker. Shows good instincts and gives maximum effort.
Really, the right play defensively. If you can't block, force them to the line.
Yeah, exactly. Prevent the layup, give them a little bump, and then maybe they'll think twice about coming into the lane next time. And if they don't think about it, at least they might be distracted by your presence.
One thing that Tom Thibodeau can be depended on as a coach is giving his star players a lot of minutes. In fact, in Chicago, Clarkson criticized him for doing that. Others praised him for it. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a team leader, he expects you to be on the floor a lot and produce a lot.
Yeah, and you know, that's part of the job. Hey, when you get right down to it, if you're one of the best players, you've got to show up and do your job all the time. And you look at players who've played under Thibodeau. I mean, he's had the league leader in average minutes 3 times in his career as a coach. Said himself that he expects his guys to get used to what star players do, which includes a lot of minutes.
4 on the clock. For 3, Brogdon. Good on the triple. Brogdon's got 5.
And doing a much better job from 3-point range than they were in the first. It's going to help them chip away at that lead.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones.
Hey, they've got a nice, comfortable lead here, fellas. Might as well keep it simple. Do it a plain, simple one-hander, just like pound cake.
I would agree. Taj Gibson's checked in for the Timberwolves. And it's Parker in the corner. Good, and the assist goes to Middleton. 13 points for Parker.
And, you know, when Parker finds his comfort zone now, he catches fire rapidly. And the defense really has no answer for him in that case.
Okay, we got a nice little back and forth going here.
Yeah, and I like it. I love seeing that. It's a lot of fun when that happens. These teams are going at each other from the outside.
Brogdon kicks to Monroe. Over Towns. And no good that time. And Minnesota will come the other way. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. Up next for them is the Pacers in Indianapolis. That will conclude their brief two-game road trip.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Yeah, it's really been quite a contrast. I like the way they're attacking the middle at their offensive end.
And the officials signal the backcourt violation. Not very careful there.
And now let's take a moment to check out the stats for Gibson. The last 10 or so games, he has been remarkable, putting up 26 points per, 7 assists and 6 rebounds. And he brings that offensive firepower to the team. Scoring just comes natural.
And, you know, defenses are throwing everything at him, yet he's still able to put up points. He's really unstoppable.
Corky Dangs checked in for Minnesota. Gibson dishes to Jang. Back to Gibson. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Jang, no luck. Bucks trail by 11. Now, here's Brogdon. A 20-point game for him in the win against Chicago. Monroe outside. Feeds it to Snell. Shot clock at 6. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back. Now some of the best in the NBA right here. The top scorers, efficiency-wise. Number 1, Karl Anthony Towns. Second is Taj Gibson.
You can't say enough about these two guys shooting this season. Both their percentages, just incredible stuff.
Brooks, the pass to Jang. He kicks it to Gibson. And it's Brooks in the corner. Connects from three-point range. Brooks has got 6 points.
And they're right around 50% for the game on their threes, and they've only gotten better as the game's gone on.
Milwaukee's gotten off 12 shots from beyond the arc tonight, hitting 7 of them. Screened by Parker. Brogdon kicks to Parker. Muhammad grabs the board. Minnesota with the ball. They're on a 14-6 run. Gibson dishes to Jang. Back to Gibson. Kicks to Jang. And Muhammad has it in the corner. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. Bucks trail by 14. Here's Snell. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. 10 points for him. Minnesota's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. Right side Gibson. Crawford outside. Sinks the three-pointer. Crawford's got 7 points for the quarter.
You know what, guys? He can really light it up from the perimeter at times.
Screened by Parker. Brogdon the pass to Parker. Middleton on the wing.
Hey, hey, hey. Ooh, wow. Really like how Monroe is not afraid of using his body to screen for his teammates. I mean, demonstrating how seriously he takes the responsibility of being a leader for his team. That's part of it, giving your body up for your teammate.
Muhammad, no luck.
That's what they want. A good look from the mid-range game. Hey, but unfortunately, they came up empty.
And glad to see Jabari Parker out on the floor after recovering from yet another torn ACL. Clark, always hard to go through that injury. Never mind twice in your first 3 seasons in the NBA. But you know, Parker's a fighter through and through.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. Not an easy situation and really disheartening for all of us who appreciate his talent and skill level. He's an outstanding young man and player, and he's vowed to come back stronger than ever before. And his attitude, a positive approach to difficult adversity, I think, has set him up to have a chance to do just what he vowed to do.
And out of bounds as the Bucks gain possession.
And a chance here to take a look at the numbers for Brooks. Second in steals, and he's in the top 20 in assists per game. His talent for creating easy buckets for his teammates, such an asset.
And back to your point, number 2 in steals. He's just a tireless worker. Plays that hard-nosed, on-ball defense. Most guys just can't disengage from him. Milwaukee making a switch here. Antetokounmpo's checked in. The Timberwolves also with the sub. Jones checked in for Jamal Crawford. Up again. Great positioning on the putback. That's now 8 points for Greg Monroe.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting it in the paint and continue to score consistently.
And Gibson kicks to Zhang. Score the basket. His 4th. He's only missed 1 of his 5 shots tonight.
Though Zhang has developed a pretty good outside shot, this is where you want him operating, in the painted area.
Monroe sets a screen for Antetokounmpo. A drive by Monroe, and a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
You know, Greg Monroe is a very talented big guy out of Georgetown. Is more comfortable facing up to the basket and can hurt you with the mid-range game, but also a pretty strong rebounder and interior defender, too.
Thon Maker's checked in for the Bucks. Matthew Dellavedova comes in for Chris Middleton. Timberwolves also changing it up. Mahimi comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Butler in for Aaron Brooks. And it's Monroe finishing it off.
A nice run they put together here to bring it a little closer.
Yeah, they got hot. I didn't think I'd be saying this a little while ago, but now this game's up for grabs.
And really just led him to his sweet spot for that finish.
And the Bucks with possession. They're on a 12-4 run. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Dellavedova with the ball. Jones covering. And it's out of bounds. The Bucks able to retain possession here. And here is Antetokounmpo. A 23-point game for him in the win against Chicago.
And he also made an impact on defense, guys. 3 block shots over the course of the game.
It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. And don't go away. We'll be right back.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime
Hello
Show.
again, everybody. Along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal, I'm Ernie Johnson. Time for the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. What a start it was for Karl Anthony Towns. He ended up with 22 points, 2 steals, and 3 assists. And Shaq, what do you think about what we saw from Minnesota?
Well, they really dictated the pace of the game with their transition game. They got out on the break every chance they had, and the time they could push the tempo, they did. And a lot of times it kept the defense scrambling.
And we're just about ready for the start.
Welcome back to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the buildings of downtown reflecting off the gentle waters of beautiful Lake Michigan. And the third quarter about ready to get underway. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational. Parker is the 4 with Monroe in the middle. Brogdon and Middleton are the guard tandem, and it's Antetokounmpo in at the 3. That's the group for Milwaukee right now.
That's just really outstanding confidence from Parker. I mean, the defense hardly having any time to react when he's skying for the jumper as soon as he gets the pass. Quickly getting into a shot after he catches.
Butler attacking. He feeds it to Towns. Butler dishes to Brooks. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Butler's got his 7th assist here tonight.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Boy, like his intensity, Greg. He's not afraid to take it straight to the rack on the bigger defender. Right at him.
Monroe with a screen on Towns. Towns with the steal. To the middle. Here's Butler. The rebound by the Bucks.
And that layup is usually going in, especially when the defense is as lazy as that.
Antetokounmpo with the ball. Now guarded by Towns. Ball's knocked loose, and it goes out of bounds. That one off Gibson. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. You look at the Timberwolves. They're looking extremely sharp right now, poised in the top spot and playing very well. And, of course, the Golden State Warriors, right on their heels and with their sights set on gaining ground.
And I think for Minnesota, they have caught the entire league off guard. This was not a position anyone thought they'd be in at this stage of the season.
And the credit belongs to them for what they did and didn't do during the offseason. I mean, they had a vision, they set it out, and they stayed true to it.
And we're about a minute and a half here into the second half. Knocks it loose. Towns with the steal.
And that's a couple of very shaky possessions in a row. One turnover right after the other.
You got to be more careful around Butler. I mean, he's terrific at bouncing over the opposition and taking the ball away.
To the left side wing. Here's Parker. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls. Parker's got 22 points.
And he's been the key for their offense with the way he shot the basketball.
Yeah, he's most certainly not the reason they're in the hole. I mean, his percentage has been outstanding.
Back to Butler. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Here's Towns, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Brooks. Brooks has got 5 assists in the game.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from the paint.
Parker's shot is off. Timberwolves leading by 10. And Muhammad kicks to Gibson, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam.
Really piling on the lead with a dunk like that.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee.
That was a good time to call the timeout to try to settle everybody down and get back into their offensive rhythm. They've been coughing up the rock an awful lot.
And Clark, when you look around the league today, is there a player that you watch and think, hey, yeah, that reminds me of how I used to play?
There are a number of guys that come to mind a little bit. Tobias Harris is an outstanding player, terrific young player and young man. Has a game similar to mine in that he's really versatile, does a lot of things well, not super flashy, but very productive. He comes to mind right off the top of my head currently.
And a moment here to look at where the shots have been coming from for Milwaukee.
And right now, there's nothing the defense can do. You can see them stretching further and further out to guard him beyond the arc, but he just keeps knocking down big 3 after big 3. As a fan, you love it. And as a defender, you just hope it ends soon.
He's putting on a commanding performance here. He's hit 2 3-pointers in each half now.
Out to Brooks. Looking for Gibson. He gets it there. Passes it to Towns. Back to Muhammad. 5 on the clock. Here's Gibson. And there's another one for the Timberwolves.
And we're seeing some great ball movement out of this group, guys.
Locked in the pass to Monroe. Shoots over Towns. The shot, no good. And Minnesota now the other way. The biggest lead of the game, 15.
How about this combo, guys? Part super athlete, part contortionist. Towns continues to impress.
And that last replay, courtesy of Under Armour. Another unleashed chaos moment. And the dunk by Towns.
And everything they're attempting is going in. Tremendous run here in the third.
And a much-needed run, too, Greg. I mean, they've turned it up a notch. Really taking over now.
Middleton outside. Pass to Parker. Dishes to Antetokounmpo. The 8-footer. And the rejection by Towns.
Well, you see the great reach as well as the relentless pursuit shown by Towns. He's simply saying, not here, not now, not in my house.
And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
Contested shots and block shots. They're bread and butter defensively. They're giving up no easy looks.
But also, they put the offense on its heel. Look at the number of steals they've been able to get. And that's something they also can take great pride in.
Butler kicks to Gibson. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
And you can see it. They're in a nice rhythm in terms of shooting. It's been that way the entire second half.
And you know, Greg, it's hard to ask for much more than that because they're getting to their spots and they're knocking down the shots.
And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That'll be his second foul of the game. Here's a Teletovic is checked in for Greg Monroe. The Timberwolves also with the sub. Crawford's checked in. Teletovic the screen. That's tipped. Butler with the steal. Here's Crawford. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. And that's now 9 points for Jamal Crawford.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
The last 5 trips they've had have ended with a great pass leading to a basket. They're really sharing the sugar.
Milwaukee making a switch here. Snell's checked in. Brogdon against Brooks. Poked away. Now here's Brogdon. D right on him. Shot clock at 5. Teletovic with a screen on Crawford. Middleton tries again. And Teletovic puts it in.
And, you know, Teletovic does not back away from getting nasty on the glass. I mean, he's got 245 pounds on that frame, and he uses it to his advantage.
A good interior D there prevents the deuce.
And, you know, that's not easy at all. When guys get this close to the bucket, it's tough to stop the basket.
Another miss by Middleton.
Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole because he is just not there offensively.
And Towns gets it to go.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Greg, the play in the paint has gone almost entirely all their way.
And it's Parker in the corner. And another 3 for Milwaukee.
And you can just see his confidence is rising. Bucket after bucket from long range.
And the Bucks defense, not one of the strongest in the NBA, but they did a great job of creating turnovers. They didn't get a stop every time, but boy, they would often create offense with their defense.
Yeah, exactly. When you're not a strong half-court defensive team, being able to force turnovers and score off those can really be effective. And most teams are hard to guard in transition, and this Bucks team was exceptional in transition.
Brogdon against Brooks. Here's Snell. He's got 10. Softly drops in the floater. Snell's got 12.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
Gibson dishes to Crawford. The kick outside to Butler. Towns is doubled. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Here's Gibson. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Yeah, I love the communication and the chemistry between those teammates.
Bucks trail by 19. Brogdon kicks to Snell. And that's out of bounds. Milwaukee will retain possession.
And a chance here to see where the Bucks currently sit in the NBA statistically.
And you go back to their second chance points. Very productive in that regard. I love to watch them work. They have that sixth sense, if you will, for sneaking inside and anticipating the path of the ball.
Matthew Dellavedova has checked in for Brogdon. And stolen by Teletovic. Down low. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. That one is on Towns.
And really, Parker is not an easy cover for the defense. He's good at drawing the defense into him, playing through contact, and he's got scoring ability really from everywhere.
Thon Maker's checked in for the Bucks. Mahimi's checked in for the Timberwolves. Zhang comes in for Towns. Here's Mahimi. And Mahimi with the stuff.
Yeah, just solid work on the back end of that play.
Yep, you're right. Finished hard with 2 hands on that stuff.
Yeah, highly efficient. Nothing extra special there. Just effective.
Dellavedova kicks to Maker. They get a hand on it. It's stolen by Mahimi. To the inside. Jones, the pass to Butler. He makes his 10th basket of the night from the field. He has missed on 3 this game only.
Boy, I really like the way he's stroking the ball. I mean, knocking down a bunch of his shots and really being efficient.
Poke loose. Here's Snell. A rebound by the Timberwolves.
The defense was less than impressive there, but despite them not really contesting that shot, he still bricked it.
Crawford's shot is good.
I tell you what, he's got an unreal feel for that corner 3. Huge mistake to give him that shot uncontested.
Teletovic. Maker controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
Oh, what terrific hustle. He's got a nose for the rebound.
Greg, he's ferocious when the ball goes up.
That's what they've got him out there for, fellas.
And Mahimi with the stuff.
And look, what I like there, Kevin, is the ball doesn't stop with Jang. I mean, he seeks out the best opportunity.
Bucks trail by 21. Pass to Snell. Parker outside. Rebound by Jang. Minnesota's gone 6 of 11 when they've taken the 3-point shot tonight. Very respectable. Butler dishes to Jang. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Jang's got 12 in the game.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
Milwaukee's gone 4 of 6 from 3-point land since the start of the second half. Teletovic against Jang. Here's Jones, and the layup is good after a nice lead pass. He has 6.
And when you can outscore your opponent in transition, that's always going to work to your advantage.
Hey, that's a big piece of the pie when you're talking about winning basketball, fast break points. I mean, because most of the time, those are easy hoops.
And Antetokounmpo's checked in for the Bucks. Muhammad, he's checked in for Minnesota. Milwaukee with the ball. Maker, no one around him. Good on the 3-point shot. Maker's got 5 points now this quarter.
Oh, I tell you, he has been lights out. Sadly, they're still behind. He needs his guys to step up.
And there's Muhammad. That's good on the assist from Mahimi. 8 points for Shabazz Muhammad.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Dellavedova kicks to Antetokounmpo. Over Butler. And it's another Milwaukee shot right there going in.
Man, that's a nice looking stroke from Antetokounmpo. What can't this guy do?
And Muhammad kicks to Jang and finished off by Jang.
And a sharp pass to set up that high percentage shot in close.
The Bucks shooting in the third quarter has been brilliant, up around 58%. The feed to Parker. There's 42 seconds left to play here in the third. Jang, the pass to Butler. Here's Muhammad. Jones kicks to Mahimi. He dishes it to Jang. Back to Mahimi. And there's the 3-second violation. Monroe's checked in for Tony Snell. Bucks shooting around 60% on the night. Amazing work offensively so far. Poked away. It's stolen by Jones. The pass to Muhammad. The 3. And another 3 for Minnesota.
Solid screen. Jang quick to get in position. And, of course, he's got that big frame. Put it to good use there.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves in complete command. Their lead at 28 points going into the break. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And now a sneak peek into the huddle with Coach Jason Kidd.
We're not talking to each other. Offensively or defensively, let's talk.
And Coach Jason Kidd citing one of the things that can happen over the course of an evening, a breakdown in communication.
And the problem is, even in a league of superstars, this is ultimately a team game. You have to work together to succeed.
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. On the court for Minnesota, Zhang is out there with Bielitsa. Then it's Jones. Then there's Ian Mahimi. And it's Georges Hunt in at the shooting guard position. Now Dellavedova. Now we know just how athletic the NBA has become since its inception. Clark, even from when you play, just how much faster and stronger has the game become?
I would say if we were going to try to put a percentage on it, I think it's grown 60–70% in terms of athleticism. And a lot of it is attributable to the training advances that have been made in sports science and sports medicine and sports performance. And that's benefited and aided the players greatly. And then you have players that have really bought into nutrition and year-round maintenance of their bodies and taking advantage of this technology to enhance performance. And then it becomes a herd mentality. More and more of the guys are doing it, and more of them are benefiting from this enhanced training. So I'd say it's at least 70% better than 30 years ago.
Jones dishes to Zhang. 6 to shoot. Georges Hunt passes to Mahimi. Georges Hunt kicks to Mahimi. That's no basket. His third miss in 8 tries. Here's Vaughn. It's stolen by Jones. Georges Hunt passes to Jones, and he makes the bucket through contact and gets the whistle too.
And giving up some height, he just finds a way to carve out a little separation.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't back down from anybody, Greg. Effective at getting the room he wants, and then gets his shot off in time.
Cole Aldrich, he's checked in for Gorgui Deng. And that one falls for Jones. Well, Clark, you've been in the booth for so long, but I have to ask, have you ever toyed with the idea of coaching or working in some team's front office? I know you did briefly for the Pacers.
Yeah, I did, and I enjoyed it. I was working in player relations, player development with our guys off the court, and loved it. But it just wasn't something I could sustain at this season in my life. Not interested in coaching. I've never really been, because my career path went towards broadcasting right after I got done playing, and I paid my dues and have grown in this profession. And I would want to do the same thing in coaching, and I just don't have enough time in front of me to do that. So I'm happy to be around the game in this capacity. Coaching never lets up. I get an off season as a broadcaster.
Yes. Aldrich dishes to Mahimi. It's stolen by Maker. Fast break, Milwaukee. Here's Vaughn. And the layup's good off the glass. Vaughn's got 4 points this quarter.
And showing a good nose for the ball there. Picks it clean, and he's off to the races.
Well, excellent defensive instincts. I mean, knows exactly when to strike on this end.
Pass to Georges Hunt. The dish to Mahimi. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Jones kicks to Aldrich. Down low. Back to Mahimi. And Jones has it in the corner. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. And we just had one of the closer MVP races in recent memory. Clark, do you define the MVP as a player with the most impressive stats, or the best player on the best team, or somewhere in between?
Kevin, to me, the MVP is an individual award. Clearly, we play a team game in the NBA, and a team's performance is part of that, but it's a small part of it to me. An MVP performance is one that not only has consistent, high-level statistical production, influences winning at a good rate, but also stands out in the magnitude of the moments this player has over the course of the season. Those two things drive the needle for me as an MVP voter, if I had such a vote.
And the foul on Cole Aldrich. That's foul number 2 for him. Bucks have gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. There's a good screen. Terry, the pass to Wilson. Feeds to Peyton. Shoots. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Mahimi's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Well, you take a look at all of the stats, the team stats that is, and that's one of the many areas that they've had the advantage. And as a result, they've got a big lead.
Shot off the screen. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. Vaughn's got 6 here in this quarter. For Minnesota, they've gone just 33% from the field in the fourth quarter so far. They are 2 of 6, and it's Mahimi finishing it off.
And really just led him to his sweet spot for that finish.
For Milwaukee, they've gone 4 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Mahimi against Wilson. Rebound, Minnesota.
You can see he just rushed that a little bit. Lost the focus, I think.
Out left to the wing. Georges Hunt kicks to Jones. Well, Clark, the idea of player loyalty has been a topic the last few years. From your view, do you think players have an obligation to stick with the team that drafted them if they can?
I'd like to see that happen, Kevin. I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and personally, I think it's cool to see guys hang with the team that drafted them as long as they can move forward towards their aspirations and goals individually and as a team. I also never begrudge players that after a time decide they'd like to explore a different opportunity with a different team for whatever the reasons might be that drive that. But traditionally and personally, I like to see players be one team players if all of the circumstances that lend itself to that being productive are in place.
Georges Hunt passes to Jones. Mahimi. Georges Hunt kicks to Aldrich. And Jones has it in the corner. Down low. Aldrich dishes to Mahimi. Over to the left wing. Outside, Jones cranes the 19-footer.
Assist from Ian Mahimi.
For Milwaukee, they've gone 5 for 9 from the field in the final quarter so far. There's a screen. Terry kicks to Maker. A 3-pointer off the mark. Minnesota shooting it well here in the fourth quarter, 50%. Outside, Jones. Pass to Georges Hunt. Aldridge with it. He kicks it to Jones. He feeds it to Mahimi. Over Wilson. Rebounded by Maker. Maker's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Peyton passes to Maker. That's good. And it's Peyton with the assist. And that's 18 points for Thon Maker.
And he's really made the most of his opportunities today. I mean, he needs to keep working for those kinds of looks.
Back to Jones, right wing. And Bielitsa kicks to Mahimi. Georges Hunt passes to Aldrich. Dishes it to Mahimi. And Jones has it in the corner. Here's Aldrich. Vaughn with the rebound.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
And, you know, that's not easy at all. When guys get this close to the bucket, it's tough to stop the basket.
Terry, the pass to Wilson. Shoots from 12. And again, it's Milwaukee converting.
Excellent awareness there, zipping the ball over to the perfect spot to score.
And the Timberwolves call time here. And Greg, you wouldn't expect it from a Coach Thibodeau team, but defense was an issue for the Timberwolves last year.
And the Wolves brought in Butler to help with offense, but more importantly, his defense. And Butler, familiar with what Thibs likes to do on both ends of the floor, has the leadership the team needs, particularly on the defensive end.
And now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Karl Anthony Towns.
And guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
Well, to come in here facing a hostile crowd and have a game like he's had, that's what separates the good players from the great players. A platoon swap here for Milwaukee. Now here's Brooks. With the versatility of modern players and the switching that goes on in defensive schemes, Clark, are traditional NBA positions meaning less and less in the game now?
I think we're finding that more teams are playing close to positionless basketball in many ways. So positions aren't nearly as important as skill sets with your 5 players on the floor. I think that's what you look at when you field your team.
Antetokounmpo can't get it to go.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
Butler dishes to Brooks. Gibson the screen. And here is Brooks. Stolen by Brogdon. And up the court come the Bucks on the break. Here's Parker. And Gibson sends it back.
And Gibson just out here to play hard defense, showing great awareness coming up there with that block.
Here's Antetokounmpo. And he's fouled on the shot. One free throw coming up.
Defensively, this is what you know. He's coming off a hot game and looking to keep it rolling.
As well he should, Greg. I mean, he always is looking to score the ball, even more so when he's hot. I like the mindset.
Now Brooks. Gibson the screen. Brooks against Brogdon. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Kicks it to Towns. Timberwolves passing it around. And that one drops for him. Towns has got 10 points here in the second half.
Perfect touch from mid-range. I mean, the subtleties of Towns' game, part of what makes him unique, his size and his skill set, and also his maturity as a young player. Very impressive.
And it goes out of bounds. That one off Gibson. A different look for Milwaukee. Here's Teletovic is checked in for Jabari Parker. Tony Snell comes in for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Chris Middleton.
Milwaukee timeout.
Here's Brogdon. Teletovic the screen. Brogdon kicks to Monroe. And he makes the bucket. Drew contact and gets the whistle too.
Hey, if you're going to foul Monroe, you really got to foul him if you want to prevent him from scoring. If you don't, he'll make you pay for it.
And Clark, when you played the NBA with still mostly American players, now the game is truly global with players from all over the world. How do you think that has changed the NBA?
Well, I think it's enhanced the NBA's product on the floor because, again, you're getting the best players in the world that are competing in the NBA with the international influx. I think it's added to the global popularity of the league without question. The NBA is clear in that we're going far and wide across the globe to find the best players to play in the best league in the world, and I think that's healthy and good.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will, and you can safely say mission accomplished now for the Timberwolves.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And this will make it 36 wins on the year for them.
And I love what they accomplished here tonight. Made the plays they had to, and that's why they'll go up 1-0 in their season series against the Bucks.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Karl Anthony Towns.
Sheer dominance from him tonight. I mean, he could not be contained. A big reason for their success this evening.
Here's what Milwaukee's going with right now. Here's Teletovic is checked in for Parker. Tony Snell comes in for Antetokounmpo, and it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Chris Middleton.
Man, it's fun seeing Monroe be so active on offense. He's a multi-talented scorer who this team looks to consistently to shoot the ball.
36 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Now here's Brooks, defended by Dellavedova. Brooks misses.
Has to be disappointing seeing him miss that one, Kevin. I mean, the defense wasn't bad, but still, I think he needs to convert from there.
It's good from long range.
And, you know, Matthew Dellavedova is an excellent facilitator. He's got all of the passes you need to run a team effectively.
Brooks with it. So it's Minnesota winning this one easily. A solid win on the road for them. This building was dead silent by the time, GA, this one wound down.
And that's what you want to do. Take the crowd out of it by crunch time. Don't give them any chance to lift their team up at the finish.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Jimmy, you have become a star in this league, big part of the team. Have those expectations put more pressure on you individually?
No pressure. I think I'm gonna do what I do each and every night. I'm not gonna play well every night, but I just gotta focus on me, this team, and worry about the outside influences.
A real leader, Jimmy. Thank you for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying